A 21st century leadership reality. Nearly two-thirds of Americans agree that we have a leadership crisis in the country today. 72% of Americans believe that unless the country's leaders improve, the United States will decline as a nation. Americans are not confident that their leaders are prepared to lead in a crisis. Nearly three-quarters of Americans believe that their leaders are out of touch with the average person. Business leaders consistently ranked lower than military, nonprofit, and religious leaders in all 5 confidence areas surveyed. Source: National Leadership Index 2005, Center for Public Leadership, Harvard University. I recommend that you read the Quality in Leadership books shown on the previous page if you've not done so already. I learned a lot from these books, and I think that they address many of the problems that still exist today in our organizations relative to leadership and quality. As you scan through these lists, pay particular attention to the published dates next to each title. The most recent quality book listed was published in 1993, and the most recent leadership book listed was published in 1999. Does this mean that no books worthy of mentioning have been published since these points in time? I don't believe I can support that strong of a statement, but I'm pretty confident that in the last 25 years, much of what has been published has largely been regurgitation with a new title. More importantly, I think the gist of what needs to be said, embraced, and put into action can be found in these books. It does little good to keep searching for the most fundamental answers when they've already been stated and we simply aren't willing to give them a sincere try. Why haven't these great books worked? Before you think I'm being cynical, think about the survey results from the Center for Public Leadership. Consider the number of people that actually bought and read the leadership books that were published 10 or more years before this survey was conducted, and its sad results were made public. Think about the answers you yourself might provide to these survey questions today. Do we have a leadership problem in our organizations? If so, what could be the causes? How would you respond? In 2004, a similar point in time to the prior survey, a survey was made for The 8th Habit: From Effectiveness to Greatness, Dr. Stephen Covey's last book. 23,000 full-time people were recently surveyed using the XQ Effectiveness Quotient questionnaire offered by Harris Interactive. Only 37% said they had a clear understanding of what their organization was trying to achieve and why. Only 1 in 5 was enthusiastic about their teams and organization's goals. Only 1 in 5 said they had a clear line of sight between their tasks and their teams and organization's goals. Only half were satisfied with the work they have accomplished at the end of the week. Only 17% felt that their organization fosters open communication. Only 10% felt that their organization holds people accountable for results. Only 15% felt they worked in a high-trust environment. Why do these challenges exist? To what degree do they still exist in the workplace today? I would sleep better at night if I thought the Harris Interactive people had somehow found 23,000 people that were not representative of today's workforce when they conducted the above survey for Dr. Covey. I don't think the Harris folks work that way, however. Additionally, I've shared these findings with hundreds of people who largely agree with them. Would you concur? How would the people in your organization respond? These numbers aren't just low, they're ridiculously low. How can we even expect to begin to make progress towards process improvement, let alone process excellence, when only 37% of our people know what the organization is trying to accomplish? And that's the highest percentage on the list. Look at the other results. Can you see the necessary connection between high percentage responses to these types of questions and an organization's pursuit of process excellence? Is it even possible to make positive change happen when the percentages are this low? Why do these challenges exist? To answer that question, consider the fact that systems give you what they're designed to give you. From my perspective, these responses are very consistent with the Deming quote I shared with you earlier. The prevailing system of management has destroyed our people. Until we change the work systems that are producing these results, these results won't improve significantly. There is a positive side, however. Not every organization is filled with people who feel this way, and all organizations can change if they want to. There are companies out there who have created work systems that help foster excellent leadership, high levels of trust and ownership across the workforce, and a very connected perspective to what the organization is trying to accomplish. If you want different results, however, you have to change the work systems. In this book, it is my goal to help you identify what some of those system change options might be. Areas of improvement. One of the 5 key foundational principles that I shared with you earlier is that people make the difference. In other words, until we change how our people and think and interact with each other, we will struggle to install new and improved work systems. Contrary to the previous survey examples of our failure to learn from the past, the above 3 examples are more theoretical. Dr. Deming taught me that without theories, there is no learning. In turn, I offer up the above 3 theories relative to how our abilities to work with each other have improved and or eroded over time. 2 trend lines are shown on each chart. One line represents my belief about what should have happened if we had been truly practicing and becoming more skilled at what was being presented in the different performance improvement books, training sessions, and speeches that have emerged over the last 40 years. The second line reflects what I think has actually happened. In 2 of the cases, group dynamics management and relationship building skills, I believe that our skills are actually now eroding after reaching a proficiency peak in the early 1990s. I do think we are making gradual improvements in the area of process improvement skill proficiency, but the rate of change, the slope of the line, is much less than is needed to help us attain the desired results that our stated pursuit of process excellence is expected to provide. If you were asked to draw your own lines and curves in these 3 areas, how consistent would your drawings be with mine? What similarities would exist? And what would your justification for the slope and the shape of your lines be? Where would your results be different, and why? I don't have the answers here, but Peter Senge taught me there is more power in a good question than there is in any answer. What percentage of the people in your organization practice effective group dynamics? What percentage of the people in your organization practice effective process improvement skills? What percentage of your people in your organization have solid relationship building skills? Exercise 2. What have you learned from the past? Test your process improvement history knowledge. Use the following questions to see how much you remember or have learned over time about process improvement approaches, strategies, and concepts. Question 1. The 7 quality tools were introduced as a set in Donald Dewar's Quality Circle Manual in 1980. How many of the original 7 quality tools can you name? Question 2. In the early 1980s, an NBC video and a Tom Peters book ignited the total quality management movement. What were the names of this video and book? The Six Sigma approach employed by GE addressed 2 key shortcomings that led to the downfall of quality circles in the 1990s. What were those 2 work system design flaws? Question 4. After publishing Out of the Crisis in 1982, Dr. Deming presented his concept of profound knowledge when he published The New Economics in 1993. Can you name the 4 components of profound knowledge? Question 5. In 1989, Dr. Stephen Covey published The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Based on book sales alone since that year, how many more highly effective people should we have in the world now? An approximation would be nice. Question 6. In the General Electric Six Sigma approach, specific black and green belt ratios are defined to support process sustainability. Do you know what these ratios are? What's the ratio of black belts per X number of employees? How many green belts should we have per employee? Question 7. Six Sigma certifications became available to the general public to earn around what year?